If you want the best bang for your buck for some of the best paddles money can buy, this is the list for you. I put a lot of thought into this list, and after reviewing more paddles than I can count, I've come up with my list for the top 5 best value paddles on the market. I'm gonna keep this brief and get right to the point here, so if you want a breakdown of all the stats on these paddles compared to others, feel free to reference them in the link to my database below. Starting our list at number 5 is my top paddle under $100, the Neonic Force. This paddle was my top choice for paddles under $100 in 2023, and honestly, I still haven't found a paddle under $100 that I like more than this one. It comes to just $89 after this channel's discount code, and even at that price, I still get people telling me it's their overall favorite paddle across all price ranges. It has some things that are really rare to have at the same time, like the fact that it's elongated and 16mm thick with a lighter swing weight of 1/16, which is usually more characteristic of paddles that are hybrid shaped. It has pretty strong pop, but not uncontrollable, and for an all-court paddle that leans towards power, this is a fun thing to slam with. This would be a good choice for you if you want a lighter elongated paddle and you want to stay under $100 and you like paddles with good pop. Coming in at number 4 is the wide body Spartus Apollo. This is actually the cheapest Kevlar paddle that I've ever tested, coming in at $117 after this channel's discount code, which is truly a very, very good deal. I think I've reviewed more Kevlar paddles than anyone else I know, and to my knowledge, this is still the only wide body paddle that is made with 100% Kevlar in the face. The Apollo tops the list in my database for spin, and when it comes to twist weight, which is largely used as a surrogate for sweet spot size, the Apollo has the largest twist weight recorded in my database as well. This would be a good paddle for people out there who like a wide body shape and a large sweet spot, but want just a touch more power than what normally comes with wide body paddles, but would probably be a bad paddle for people who want a true power paddle or really high levels of pop compared to the general market. I'm gonna cheat just a little bit and put 2 paddles at the number 3 spot since they come from the same company, and those are the Viva Pro Gen 3 and the Mage Pro Gen 2 from 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝑚. These 2 paddles are 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝑚's Kevlar carbon fiber hybrid paddles, and there's an absolute ton of value here with these paddles both coming in at $119 after the 30% off code this channel was given, including lifetime warranties, true 30-day unwrap it, play with it and love it or return it policies, free shipping, full paddle cases, etc, etc. The Viva Pro Gen 3 is a monster for power on drives, putting up average drive speed numbers that are in an elite percentile in my database, and in my opinion, it has an improved, more soft feel than the Viva Pro Gen 2, which is carbon fiber, and it's pretty easy to control with pop levels on the low end of average. The Mage Pro Gen 2 is 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝑚's new Kevlar hybrid, replacing the Mage Pro Gen 1. The Mage Pro Gen 2 not only got a new face material when compared to the carbon fiber original Mage Pro, but is actually a different shape altogether, adopting a more flared shape like the Mark 1 or Ruby, and it also plays way different than the original Mage Pro. It has higher levels of pop, and is probably in the top few for pop of the Kevlar paddles I've tested, and it also offers a 14mm option in the Mage Pro Gen 2, which is the more poppy between the 16 and 14mm thicknesses. I think if you want raw power on drives and softer hands for dinks, the Viva Pro Gen 3 is going to be your paddle. But the swing weight on it is a little on the higher side, so if you want high maneuverability and higher pop, the Mage Pro Gen 2 is going to be your paddle of choice here. Number 2 on this list is the J2K by Honolulu Pickleball Company. This paddle has seriously blown up this year and has already been picked as the top paddle of the year by trusted reviewers Lewis from Pickleball Pursuit and Jacob from All Drive No Drop. It comes in at $135 after this channel's discount code, and like the Spartus Apollo, it's made with 100% Kevlar in the face. Unlike the Apollo, which is wide body shaped, the J2K is a hybrid shape, offering a little more reach on both the overall length of the paddle and the paddle face itself. And even though they list the same length on the handles, the handle tapers at the face just a little bit more on the J2K versus the Apollo, giving you more room for 2 hands if you choose to use that. It has a huge sweet spot and plays on the verge between all cord and control, and has the option of the J2K Pro, which has a tighter Kevlar weave in the Kevlar face for just a touch more pop than the regular J2K, and comes in black. It plays very close to the 𝐋𝐢𝐬𝐴 Ruby, but is maybe just a fraction more stiff feeling and is $45 cheaper, making it an easier recommendation for me. This would be a great paddle for a person who wants a wide sweet spot, great spin and control, but doesn't want to transition all the way to the shorter wide body shape of the Apollo. But like the Apollo, this probably wouldn't be the right paddle for someone looking for big pop or power. Before revealing my top pick, I did want to specifically name one honorable mention that I didn't have until after filming this review, and that was 11624's Monarch Jelly Bean. Like the Neonic Force, the Jelly Bean also comes in under that $100 threshold after this channel's discount code, but unlike the Force, this paddle is a sub $100 control option. It's the cheapest of the 11624 wide body Monarch lineup, and so far it's played really well in testing. It has a longer handle for good leverage, huge sweet spot, and is all around a very easy to use and good feeling paddle that, depending on a person's preference, would probably make a good argument for the number 4 or 5 position on this list. Keep an eye out for a full review of the Monarch series I'll release soon, and keep this paddle in consideration for a top tier control paddle under $100. My overall number 1 pick for best value paddle is the Neonic Flow. Since this paddle's been released, I've tested a ton of other new paddles, and not only is this still one of the lowest priced paddles that I've tested, but it's actually remained one of only 2 or 3 paddles I keep as my go-to paddles when I need to perform the best, alongside paddles like the Ethos Dynamis or the Engage Pursuit Pro 1. The Flow comes in at a final price of $170 after this channel's discount code, which honestly is kind of mind-blowing to me considering its performance level. It has a more plush feel compared to a lot of the paddles on the market, and I feel the face really grabs the ball well for spin, with measured RPM sitting comfortably over the 2000 RPM mark and in my very high range. It has an overall hybrid shape like the J2K, but the main upgrade here is the pop of the Neonic Flow, which if you recall with the Neonic Force, seems to be somewhat of a trademark of Neonic Pickleball. I really felt no time at all adjusting to this paddle, and I've been surprised that throughout all my testing, this is one of the very few paddles I can still pick up and be comfortable playing with right away. I prefer to set my lead tape up with 3 grams at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, which took the swing weight of my current Flow from 113 to 116, and twist weight from 6.13 to 6.15. I think people really can't go too wrong with any of the paddles on this list, but if I were to specifically compare the number 1 and 2 paddles here, the J2K has the advantage of a larger sweet spot and is constructed with Kevlar for those who may prefer that, and the Neonic Flow has more of an average size sweet spot, but really stands out with a satisfying pop and has a more plush feel. That's my list for the current top 5 overall best value paddles of the year. I'm excited to see what the rest of the year brings, and I hope this review was helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you here for the next one.